Planning your first trip to Angkor Wat? In this video, we're taking you through a full Angkor Wat sunrise and small circuit tour, showing you the temples, what to expect, common mistakes people make, and how much this full-day adventure really costs. Let's head in. Most sunrise tours start really early, usually around 4:30 in the morning. It sounds a bit crazy at first, but there's a good reason for it. Coming early gives you a better chance of finding a good spot, and it also lets you experience the temples before the heat and the crowds arrive. And don't forget to bring your Angkor Pass because there's a ticket checkpoint before entering the park. Digital and printed tickets are both fine. When you get there, you'll be walking through darkness with other visitors, and it feels really exciting, knowing you're about to experience one of the most famous sunrises in the world. Many people gather around the ponds because this is where you can see the famous reflection of Angkor Wat in the water. But our guide took us to a quieter spot behind the main area because most people gather near the ponds. There were few people and a much wider look of the temple. After waiting for a while, you slowly start seeing Angkor Wat appear out of the darkness. The sky starts changing color, the temple slowly lights up. But to be honest, there are a lot of people here, and finding a good photo spot can be difficult. Sometimes you need to wait for space, and it definitely doesn't feel as peaceful as it looks online. But even with the crowds, watching the sunrise at Angkor Wat still feels like one of those travel experiences you remember for a very long time. After sunrise, most visitors head inside Angkor Wat, and this is where the temple becomes even more impressive. The scale is huge. Long corridors stretch in every direction, the walls are covered with detailed carvings showing the stories of Hindu mythology, ancient battles, and everyday life during the Khmer Empire. One mistake many first-time visitors make is rushing through this area. But if you slow down, you start noticing so many small details you would normally miss. We also highly recommend getting a guide because the experience becomes much more interesting when someone explains the history and meanings behind the carvings and temples. Our guide visit was amazing, and we will leave his contact information in the comments below if you're interested. One thing you absolutely shouldn't skip is climbing to the top level of the temple. Many people say if you don't climb to the top, you haven't really experienced Angkor Wat. The stairs are steep, but once you reach to the top, the view is incredible. You can see the temples, the jungle, and just how massive the entire area really is. Up there, you really feel how impressive Angkor Wat truly is. To enter Angkor Park, every visitor needs an Angkor Pass. Most first-time visitors either choose the 1-day or 3-day pass. We bought ours online ahead of time, which made the morning much easier since we could go straight to the temples. Most visitors explore Angkor Park using a route called Small Circuit. It's the most popular option for first-time visitors because you can see many of the main highlights in just 1 day. The route usually includes Angkor Wat, Bayon Temple, also known as the famous Face Temple, Prohm, the famous Tomb Raider Temple, and a few other well-known stops around the park. If it's your first time visiting Angkor, we definitely recommend getting a guide. Most tours also include transportation and help navigating the huge Angkor complex, which makes a day much easier. Most private tours cost around $50 to $80 depending on the route and the group size. We paid $60 for a guide and tuk-tuk for the whole day. On the way to the next stop, we passed through the south gate of Angkor Thom. This is one of the ancient entrances to the city of Angkor Thom, and you can immediately feel the history as you drive through it. On both sides of the bridge, you'll see long rows of statues holding what look like giant serpents. It's a quick stop, but it really shows how impressive this ancient city once was. The next stop on the short circuit is Bayon Temple, and some visitors end up liking Bayon even more than Angkor Wat. Unlike the grand and symmetrical design of Angkor Wat, Bayon feels more mysterious and more complex. The temple is famous for its giant stone faces carved into the towers. There are more than 200 faces, and no matter where you stand, it often feels like they're quietly watching over the temple. Walking through Bayon feels completely different from Angkor Wat. The narrow passageways, the dark stone, and the massive faces give the temple a really unique atmosphere. As you move between temples, you probably see monkeys around the area. They're usually calm, but it's still best not to get close or feed them. They definitely add to the experience. Nearby, there are also several other temples and ruins worth exploring. One of them is Baphuon Temple, which is actually older than Angkor Wat. You can climb to the top and walk through the temple for a different view of the area. And if you walk around the back, don't miss the reclining Buddha built into the structure of the temple itself. This whole area is also great to explore on foot. You'll pass open spaces, ponds, and places like the Terrace of Elephants, which was once used for royal ceremonies. Compared to Angkor Wat, this area feels more open and relaxed. One of the most unforgettable temples is Prohm, and this place feels straight out of an adventure movie. In fact, scenes from the Lara Croft movie Tomb Raider were filmed here, which is why many people call it the Tomb Raider Temple. Massive tree roots grow over the ancient stone ruins, covering walls, doorways, and entire buildings. Instead of fully restoring the temple, many parts were left the way they were found, which makes the experience feel much more natural. As you walk through the temple, you can actually enter some of the chambers and narrow passageways. There's an echo. Wow. The light coming through the trees, the jungle sounds, and the huge roots covering the ruins make this place feel completely different from the other temples. It really does feel magical. After exploring Prohm, we finished our tour at Srah Srang. After the heat and crowds of the temples, this area feels peaceful and relaxing. It's a nice final stop before heading back to Siem Reap. After spending the entire day exploring Angkor Park, it's easy to understand why so many people travel to Cambodia to see this place. Hopefully, this video helped you what to expect and how to prepare for your visit. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.